It's not strange for mysteries to crop up in gaming, whether it's in the form of Easter eggs or secrets. However, some mysteries remain unsolved for a long time, and then they transcend into a realm of urban legends, their validity somewhat iffy. You might have heard of it from a friend, believed a hoax, or simply encountered something that defies explanation. Haunted Pokemon Snap. Take it as just another urban legend or the stuff of truth, but one unfortunate player apparently found a haunted copy of Pokemon Snap. The N64 title saw players on rails taking pictures of Pokemon in Pokemon Island. It's a generally happy game, but this particular copy had odd purple streaks throughout. Professor Oak's eyes were replaced with pitch-black voids, and many of the lovable pocket monsters looked downright unsettling, according to the person in question, that is. At some point, visiting the volcano stage would result in Pokemon screaming. Soon enough, the player saw himself submerged in lava. That's several degrees of yikes right there. Mind Control, Polybius. One of the strangest, and arguably strongest urban legends in gaming is Polybius. This innocuous top-down shooter was apparently seen in arcades in the early 2000s. However, stories began to circulate of players suffering psychologically, from night terrors to panic attacks. Even stranger is that after these incidents, men in black arrived one day to gather data from Polybius and take the cabinet away. There's no way to verify any of this. Polybius has no record of existing, for instance, but it still retains its urban legend status to this day. Free Genesis, Sonic the Hedgehog. Remember those rumors that told you to do very specific things in games like Street Fighter to unlock Shenlong or some other such nonsense? Well, Sonic the Hedgehog had something similar. Reddit user Patorama outlined the urban legend of somehow getting into Eggman's ship once the game had been beaten. Those who accomplished this feat received a phone number, and calling it would result in Sega recognizing your talent and sending you a free Genesis. Again, there's no one who's really come forward to confirm this if it was true. The Princess and the Atomic Bomb, Braid. If the closing moments of Braid, Jonathan Blow's breakout indie platformer, didn't make it obvious, you were the bad guy all along. However, the game has these hidden stars that are difficult to collect. If you collected all of them, then the princess would explode. The ending constellation, only complete by the princess's demise, would reveal a girl in chains. A quote from Kenneth Bainbridge, the man responsible for the Trinity bomb test comprising the very first nuclear weapon ever detonated, is also included in the game, which led many to suspect that the protagonist Tim represents a scientist endlessly pursuing the creation of the first nuclear bomb. Jonathan Blow never really clarified if this was the case, but Braid continues to mesmerize us to this day. Voxel Doppelganger, Minecraft. Minecraft is one of the most popular games in the world with a burgeoning community. That passionate community is what led to the game's success in the first place, but it also transformed what could be hoaxes into something greater. Take the instance of Herobrine, a clone of the hero with white eyes. Herobrine was spotted by different players, following them around and even stalking them outside of their homes. Though dismissed as a hoax, Mojang didn't outright discourage it. Numerous patch notes would serve to remind people that yes, in this patch for sure, Herobrine was gone. It only underscores the Voxel Doppelganger's place in Minecraft legend. Violent Incidents and Heart Attack, Berserk. 3 troublesome incidents shadowed Atari 2600 shooter Berserk when it was available in arcades. Unlike many urban legends on this list, one of the incidents actually did happen. One player suffered a heart attack after playing Berserk for several hours. While many point to other factors, like sleep deprivation and an existing condition, Berserk's reputation of inducing terrible things in its players still remained. Ermac the Error Macro, Mortal Kombat. Short for Error Macro, Ermac, who would later become an actual fighter in the series, was thought to be hidden in the first Mortal Kombat. The name first appeared by accessing the audit menu in the arcade version of the game. Rumors would eventually follow of Error Macro flashing on screen in the Genesis version and Scorpion's outfit turning red, thus creating Ermac. This was later debunked. Mortal Kombat 2 went even further with a cryptic anagram deciphered to say, Ermac does not exist. Eventually, Ermac was introduced in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, but there's still some doubt about whether he's still in the first game, waiting to be discovered. All Bonds, GoldenEye 007. GoldenEye 007 was known for its cheats, and you would often go to certain lengths to unlock them. A blank space remained after all the cheats were unlocked, many speculating about this mystery cheat and how to unlock it. Cue Electronic Gaming Monthly, which said the cheat was for unlocking all bonds, letting the player control other icons like Sean Connery and Roger Moore in multiplayer. The conditions for unlocking the cheat, including completing the Aztec level in less than 9 minutes with enemy health at 200% and accuracy and damage set to 100%, were pretty absurd. Eventually, the magazine confirmed this to be an April Fool's joke, another in a long list for EGM. Blowing cartridges. Whenever you played on the Super Nintendo, NES, or even the Nintendo 64, you might have experienced your cartridges not working. How many of us would remove the cartridge, blow into it to clean it, and pop it back in, believing things to have been fixed? Well, as it turns out, a lot of us did, until it was revealed to be utterly pointless. It's Okay to Be Smart, a show from PBS Digital Studios, revealed that removing and inserting the cartridge is what ultimately fixed things. Everything else was just our imagination. Unsolvable math problems. Baldi's Basics in Education and Learning. You wouldn't expect a game like Baldi's Basics in Education and Learning to be a survival horror game, but here we are. Throughout the game, you'll find 7 notebooks with 3 math questions to answer. The first 2 questions are easy, but the third question in each book is just a bunch of jumbled digits and symbols. While not answering these third questions makes the game tougher and is wholly intended, there's apparently a way to solve it. What could it be? Fans still haven't found out to this day, but a method is said to exist. Shy Guy Jungle Serial Key, Paper Mario Sticker Star. When traveling through Shy Guy Jungle in Paper Mario Sticker Star, you can find a trash pile with several different items. One such item wasn't an item but a serial key that read XD3R B8HH 9ZR2 FL16. Trying to enter this code into the Nintendo eShop or even Club Nintendo at the time resulted in the phrase wrong code. What did it do? Why was it in the trash of all places? To this day we still don't know. The Madden Curse, Madden NFL. Throughout the years, the Madden NFL series became infamous for its cursed cover athletes. This meant that whoever became the cover athlete for that year's game would suffer misfortune. It hasn't happened every year, but when misfortune struck the likes of Peyton Hills, Adrian Peterson, and Rob Gronkowski, it was attributed to the Madden Curse. Even UFC athletes were apparently not safe. Both Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor lost their bouts when featured on the cover of EA Sports UFC 2, the former suffering her first loss ever in UFC. Self-deletion, kill switch. No, this isn't Kill.Switch from Namco, which became the first third-person shooter to introduce a cover system as its core gameplay loop. Kill Switch was a point-and-click horror adventure game about a woman trapped in a demonic mine. Upon finally escaping, the game did something weird. It deleted itself. And we don't mean uninstalled. It was apparently removed from one's PC and could never be played again. A limited number of copies were apparently created, and it's hard to really find people who have played it given the circumstances. When players found out about Kill Switch's self-deletion, the last copies apparently became rare. Some say they're still out there. Lavender Town Syndrome, Pokemon Red and Blue. Lavender Town from the Pokemon Red and Blue titles was creepy enough on its own. It had Pokemon Tower, home to Pokemon Graves and various ghost Pokemon, not to mention the creepy music and aura which stayed with us to this day. However, when the games first released in Japan, there were severe differences in Lavender Town's music. The Western version had reduced pitch and frequencies for some notes. At the time, reports began to emerge of players becoming obsessed with the titles in Japan, with some blaming teen deaths on playing too much Pokemon. Some would theorize that the music of Lavender Town played a part, and that's why Nintendo altered it for the West. Is it possible that Lavender Town's creepiness infested its players? Even all these years later, we're not completely sure. And that wraps it up. If you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing to our channel. We upload new videos daily. Also, don't forget to switch on the bell notification icon, that way you don't miss out on any of our videos.